I think it's pretty safe to say that one of the major characters that a lot of fans around the world are looking forward to the most in The Rise of Skywalker is the Jedi Master himself, Luke Skywalker, being portrayed by Mark Hamill once more in this saga by J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, that's the one unfortunate thing about The Rise of Skywalker, is that this is going to be the last and final movie that we do get to see Mark Hamill portraying Luke Skywalker on the big screen. And that, I think, is going to be something very hard for fans to really get by and to eventually leave behind. Now, what's really exciting about this film is that we do know that J.J. Abrams is really utilizing Luke Skywalker in a way in the form of flashbacks, in the form of a Force ghost, and other aspects that are currently going to be very unexpected. Would I rather him be alive and well as if he did not die in The Last Jedi? Absolutely, but we get what we get in Episode 9, and from what it seems with the flashbacks, everything is sounding very intriguing for this movie. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, it's described that Mark Hamill shot a sequence during the month of January, where he was placed on set over in Cardington in the UK, where it's described to be a moment in which he was portraying a younger version of Luke Skywalker in the form of a flashback that would have a connection to Rey's story. It's said to be a sequence that takes place after Luke Skywalker took down a Star Destroyer on Jakku's surface during the Battle of Jakku, where a young Luke is walking through the wreckage, where it's said that Rey's parents are described to be watching Luke Skywalker walking past. The sequence was said to involve a process of de-aging technology to make Luke appear how he would be roughly 1 year after the events of Return of the Jedi. Mark Hamill was said to be dressed in a black robe with the hood over his head, with his green lightsaber strapped to his belt, where villagers and others came running up to him and kneeling down to him as if they were praying and thanking him. It said that Rey's parents are said to be connected to Luke's flashback in a unique way that would have saga-wide implications to the Skywalker saga, and that it's something that fans would not expect to see on the big screen. Now, the sequence is actually said to be done over at Cardington and involve pieces of wreckage in front of a green screen where Mark Hamill and villagers were placed on top of sand to emulate the world of Jakku. The scene is said to establish how Luke Skywalker knew of Jakku when talking to Rey in Episode 8 and telling her that Jakku is pretty much nowhere. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, number one, we do know that the Battle of Jakku was basically the final end of the Empire. In case you guys did not know, after the Battle of Endor, it was not the end of the Imperial Army and the end of the Empire in general. They still were kind of lingering on. They were still kind of scattered around the galaxy. It wasn't until the Battle of Jakku is when the Empire was completely defeated by the hands of the Rebellion and others as well. And what I like about this is that it's going to give us a glimpse into Luke Skywalker's power and what he did on the world of Jakku, taking down a Star Destroyer and stuff like that. Now, this is actually also said to connect to a story involving Rey's parents, where Rey's parents are actually said to witness Luke Skywalker doing this on Jakku and eventually walking through the aftermath, where all the villagers, including Rey's parents, are said to walk up to Skywalker himself. Now, to this day, we're still not quite sure if Rey's parents are really her parents, or if they are just, you know, a stepfather and or stepmother, if you will, or should I just say parents who adopted Rey, right? We're not quite sure if it's something like that, or if they are indeed blood related. Now, with that being said, the one thing that I do want to go over is of course related to Episode 9, involving the character of Luke Skywalker. Now, not only would this really do a lot of justice for the character of Luke Skywalker in the sequel trilogy, it would show us how powerful a Jedi he can really be, something that Rian Johnson just did not want to do in, of course, The Last Jedi. In case you guys did not know, Rian Johnson did in fact originally have ideas in place in order for Luke Skywalker to take down Star Destroyers, but then thought to himself that it would be too much like a superpower or a superhero doing these crazy things that are out of control, and so he wanted to keep it simple with the Force projection, where the AT-ATs are just shooting at him, only to go right through his body. So what J.J. Abrams is trying to do here, from what it seems, he's really trying to make Luke Skywalker feel like the almighty Luke himself, the almighty Jedi Master that a lot of fans wanted to see on the big screen, Sure, you know, things in the EU went a little crazy and a little overboard, but what I will say is that there's a lot of things from the EU that Disney and Lucasfilm can absolutely benefit from. One of which is, of course, you know, taking down an AT-AT from, of course, Star Wars Dark Empire. Luke did that in Legends. He was able to do that. And to me, in my opinion, I don't know about you guys, but there's no excuse for Luke Skywalker to not be able to do these things. So anyways, guys, I would really love to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.